Many times people will come to us with financial pressures where they're looking for debt consolidation, perhaps a bankruptcy, and generally trying to get financial relief. And we can help with that. A lot of times you may approach a creditor who will work with you on resolving the debt without the necessities of bankruptcy. We are a debt relief agency. We can assist you in filing for bankruptcy relief. And in the course of doing that, we like to explore all different areas. You may think that you have an overwhelming problem, but we can explore options. Aside from bankruptcy, often we can work with a creditor organization and obtain a significant discount. Other times we may refer you to a debt relief agency that will work with other creditors in a budget setting and a rewrite. When those two situations don't work, or perhaps they aren't right for you, we often look to bankruptcy. There are all sorts of bankruptcies. There's big business, farmers, railroads, cities and towns. The two that apply to consumers are Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy is also referred to as a fresh start or a liquidation that you may have heard of. And the Chapter 13 is a wage earner's plan or a payment plan where you will make payments over a period of 3 to 5 years. Which of those bankruptcies are right for you will depend upon your particular financial need, and we'll review that with you. To be eligible for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, first you need to have not filed before, or it's been at least 8 years. The second main requirement is that you have assets that either you're allowed to keep, or if they exceed a certain limit, you're willing to let those go. That depends on equity in your home or equity in your car. We'll talk about all those in more detail when we meet. The third qualifier is the type of debts you own or the type of debts that in fact will go away. Things that do not go away might include criminal fines and penalties, student loans, child support, back taxes. Whether your particular debts are the type that get discharged, we'll cover thoroughly. Normal things that go away include credit cards, medical bills, personal judgments. After looking at the debts, we then look at what I call a budget test, which essentially says the cash flow or the amount of money that comes into your house each month is consumed by your base living expenses, and you have very little left over. If you have more left over, you might consider that Chapter 13 payment plan. You also have a threshold analysis under the law, which says if you make too much money, you cannot file for Chapter 7. So a couple of those things that we just discussed, if you don't qualify for, will often require you then to look at a Chapter 13. Also, it's important to know that in a Chapter 13, you can always choose that option to make partial repayment of your debts. What's right for you will be looked at more thoroughly when you come to the office. Lastly, the process is important to many people. Once we start talking about bankruptcy, we will give you a questionnaire, and you can find it on our website, that will help you be prepared for that meeting. When you come in, it's important to have that questionnaire filled out as completely as possible. We'll then review it. You will be required under the law to take a debtor counseling class before you file. At the time that we file then, we will submit that by computer these days, and about a month later we go meet with what's called a trustee. That's sort of a watchdog who overlooks the case, makes sure we've done our job right, and will talk to us about any issues that your particular case presents. After that meeting with the trustee, about 3 months later is when you get your discharge, and that's what you're looking for. That's what gives you the relief you sought in the first place. The cost of the bankruptcy can vary widely, so it's important to check in with us and understand and give us all the information so that we can quote you a more accurate fee. There are payment plans for those fees. However, it's important to note that those fees must be paid before the actual filing of the bankruptcy. That is now required by law. And one last thing, you are required to produce tax returns, and it's possible that you might have to surrender a portion of or all of your tax return for 1 year in a Chapter 7, or perhaps for the life of or multiple years under a Chapter 13. So again, depending on your situation, whether a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 is right for you as an individual, we can meet, discuss, analyze, and help you make the right decision. If you have other bankruptcy needs, we can either help you with those or perhaps refer you to someone we trust to help you with those other needs. Thanks for listening.